I'm Aaron Bartuska, and you're listening to Make More Movies, a split-tooth podcast where I ask DIY filmmakers what keeps them creating. This time around, we'll be talking to Anthony Leroy, a filmmaker who specializes in making shot-on-video horror films. His newest film, Bum, is his longest yet, and has propelled him forward toward what looks to be a promising feature filmmaking career. Somewhere in the middle of directing, no joke, 12 upcoming projects, Anthony took the time to sit down with me and chat about how everyone on set should wear many hats, how we both feel like we may be turning into our dads, and the work of parody genius that is not another teen movie. Give it a listen. Sweet, I'm here with Anthony Leroy. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Oh, I was having an awful day, but it's a lot better since you came into the picture.
Wow, that's so sweet. I can't believe you're already flirting with me. This is gonna be great.
With those eyes, it don't take much, baby.
Just talk about a little bit how you got into making these short little horror films, all the way back to Dusty and before. I'm sure you seem like the type of guy who's made stuff in high school. So just talk a little bit about that.
As far back as I can remember, my mother always was big into films, like watching movies, and there was a lot of films always being played. And I kind of grew out of cartoons pretty fast due to seeing that, the adults were watching this, but I'm stuck watching this. I had that curiosity, and some movies she would introduce me to, and they really I had a huge imagination as a kid. I think I still do, hopefully, but with her guidance, she actually showed me so many films, and my uncles were also big into movies, so a lot of film watching as a young guy, and then oh my god, that it was so exciting and invigorating that it had to be something that I would do later in life. It just immediately inspired me. And I got a VHS camera very young, one of those Sears over-the-shoulder cameras. And I began running around with my friends making zombie movies and action movies and stuff like that.
What age do you think that was around?
10 maybe?
Okay.
9 or 10.
Nice. Because I was doing the same thing. I was shooting on I think it was my dad's, he had a family photo camera. It wasn't even meant to record videos.
Right.
And I was making Friday the 13th ripoffs, and
I did one too.
Around. Yeah. I feel like it's a rite of passage, honestly.
Yeah, we had a Dollarama Jason mask, which is whatever, and we got our bulkiest friend to play Jason.
Cool.
That's I wish I had the footage from that still. It's so funny. I unfortunately lost a lot of that footage throughout the years because I felt like I had no real connection to it. Which is unfortunate because now that I'm older, I'm like, God damn, I wish I had that still, I actually pulled a bag of VHS tapes from my house that were blanks last week, and then I brought them here, and I started watching them. And I realized they were all from the last 3 years or 4 years, so nothing that actually there's a Random Families tape in there. So I guess I must have bought a blank tape, and then now I have their memories, which I'm not tied to, but it would be interesting to reconnect with them. My friend Justin Cottingham, who runs Gosh Darn Video, he actually does that in his spare time. When he gets blank tapes, he will try and reconnect the tapes and the footage to the family. It's pretty interesting.
That's admirable, actually.
Totally.
Just think of that family hasn't seen that stuff in years. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a beauty. He's a gem. But so yeah, I made a bunch of zombie movies, and also when I was young, I really got into probably before I even had my camera, but I was really into practical effects, and ultimately there was a book called Beyond the Mask, which was covering some of the major special effects artists, practical effects artists at the time. It's Dick Baker, Tom Savini, Rob Bottin, kind of the heavyweights. And looking through that book at the stuff and seeing like that these things were man-made and not real was like oh man, I would love to get into that. So actually initially I wanted to be a I think first I wanted to be an actor, then I wanted to be a director, then I wanted to be a practical effects artist, and then I switched it up.
And now you're doing all three, kind of.
Now I'm doing all three, basically, and I don't see why more people don't. You know, I think that we should try and wear a lot of hats to get a better understanding of the process of filmmaking and how to pull things off. I think sometimes people have no interest in it or something, and it just becomes like, oh, well, this is my one job, you know?
Right, and it helps you branch out and figure out what you could or couldn't like, but I also feel like it gives you a respect for what other people are doing. Like when there comes a day when you can only direct or only do one job on a set, you have that much more respect for the other people around you because you've done their job, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's something like I really do care about. Like even when I'm putting together my makeshift crews of friends and stuff like that to make our movies, everyone is doing something different so they can get a kind of taste or a knack for it to see if like that's something that they actually think they could do as a job or want to do further down the line. So if I could set those gigs up, then I'm definitely going to do that. I think a lot of people see equipment and they get interested, so it's like why not try to like flourish that, you know, like let me show you and see what you can do in that.
Right, yeah. And all of your films seem like they have that sort of laid back, made by friends on a free weekend feel, right? And so it makes a lot of sense to hear that you have this open-minded approach to how you're making your films where, yeah, if you want to film a scene, pick up the camera and try it. Like, who am I to say no, right?
Right. Yeah, if somebody has an idea, like, I was actually talking to a friend recently about this, but, like, I was applying for a grant recently, and then I was asked, like, if two people are combating their ideas, how would I fix that? And I think it's just naturally how I would, is to film both ideas, and then everyone shuts the fuck up, you know?
Right.
but
and then figure it out in the edit.
Right. Yeah. Fix it in post, dude.
Yeah.
But why not? Like, try it. Get the ideas out there, because you could be so sure of something and then be wrong. I've been in that situation quite a few times, you know? And then somebody brings something to me and I'm like, yeah, we may as well try that too. And that ends up being the idea that works, you know? Right. So you have to be open and, able and willing to work together as a team, you know? It can be someone's vision, but other people can help to curate that vision with just their ideas, you know?
Oh yeah, I hate the elitist filmmaker who's just like, no, this is how it's happening, this is my vision. Like, I've never heard of a scenario where a film isn't improved by just hearing the people around you out, even if you don't end up going with an idea. It's like, if you're closed off and like, I hate the idea of like the lock yourself in a room director, yes. Right? Like lock yourself in your trailer. It's like, that's not helpful for anyone, right? And
these people are showing up to help you.
Right, exactly.
You know, let them help you. It's like, goes beyond just the process of filmmaking. And I think like, if anything, it just helps strengthen the bond you have with your crew, right? Like, putting things together, it ends up becoming... It should always, in my opinion, be a two-way street in terms of, like, how exciting it can be and, like, what it can do to you in terms of its influence or, you know, happiness and stuff like that. And I really do try with all my might to ensure that my films have, like, a very positive, hype work environment where everyone wants to give their all and everybody wants to work and everybody wants to do stupid shit, you know, like that is like what my movies are basically. It's like just a big party, you know, like a big enjoyment of we all hype each other up to do stuff and then, you know, we celebrate after that we did it, you know.
Right. And I mean, I think that is an important thing that a lot of people forget is like the making of the film is just as important as how the film comes out, and usually will lead to that being a thing you can feel in the text of the film. Like if people are having fun making the thing, then that comes through and then the audience has fun, right? Yeah,
it definitely reads. Like, yeah, I don't know. I do find like with my films, like at first, I really wasn't. When I made, I think like Dusty, I was like, okay, this is just a whatever thing, which is like my first film, and then following up like 4 years later, I was in a relationship where I felt that like I wasn't able to be artistic, and as an artist, not being able to do the one thing you want to is nightmarish.
Yeah.
And so it took me 4 years to get back to making something, and that was with Dusty 2. And then, but still, it was like co-directing, right? So like, while I was open to it and things like that, it's the kill your darlings process of two visions collaborating that I found tricky in terms of the film, but ultimately, yet again, I did not make a film for practically 4 years. Again, after that, because I was still in that relationship, and after I got out of it, I did everything I could to feel it out and patch myself up, and then also rediscover my identity as an artist. Like, what did I really want to do? But ever since then, I feel like I've carved out who I am and how I operate, and I also have like a very supportive partner now, and I'm just making so much, like it's completely opposite. It's like making up for the years lost.
You are making a lot. You kind of suck, man. We'll get into that. I hate you. But I do want to talk a little bit about the transition from Dusty to Dusty 2. It's interesting to hear that, there was, and we don't have to get into that, but it is a common thing where, you get into a relationship in your younger years and then your artistic voice is kind of stifled. And maybe that's your partner's fault. Maybe that's your own fault. Maybe it's just the way life works, right? But it is interesting seeing, like, Dusty to me sort of reads like we're in high school or just out of high school, let's just make something for fun film.
Precisely,
Yeah, but the fact that you went back and revisited that, and you can tell, like, there's years of pent-up ideas there. Like, there's a much clearer vision in Dusty 2, I think. But just also there's something to returning to the thing I made before I went through this whole life experience. Like, it's almost like a cleansing process, it seems like.
Right. Like, I think with Dusty 2, even afterwards, like, and that relationship ending, it was like one giant chapter closing, It opened and then it closed.
Right.
And I think that, like, Dusty 1 is super scrappy. We had, like, no money and just said, oh, we should do that just because we can, And we had, like, 3 pages of a script and no plan, and it's evident.
Sure.
But then, it was like all these years later, like, whoa, we always joked, we should make Dusty 2. We should make Dusty 2. And it was like I think that Dusty 1 was a little bit of a thorn in the side. But then it was like, oh yeah, we should make Dusty 2, and then just try to do the opposite of everything we did, and then actually put a lot more effort into it and kind of curate a different style, a different story. And
it's ingenious how you got away with casting all of yourselves again by playing the long lost twin brothers of the characters in the first one.
That was a great joke. I can't deny it.
I laughed. I was sitting alone in my room watching it, and I was like I see you.
Stranger things have happened, that's for sure, in bringing characters back. But the original idea too, I was talking to Josh, who I co-directed with, and the idea that I had was, like, I wanted, because I think in the first film my character plays an asshole, which I do think I'm very good at playing, and
what does that say? Should we break that down?
Maybe. I think some people call it acting, and I just call it living, but but I also think at the same time, I wanted Tice, who plays my opposite, to be the asshole that time, and I was gonna be like the good guy, the moral compass. But Tice didn't think that they could pull it off, so I ended up kind of just playing my character again. But I think the Dusty to Rusty transition of that movie is very funny as well. There's this very cringe first performance, and then Rusty feels like it's a real character,
It's a true glow up. I equate it to, Rachel Lee Cook taking off her glasses in She's All That. And then
one tiny detail, right?
Yeah.
I love Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh yeah, dude, that's
anyone but her. She has glasses and a ponytail.
Oh
so
yes, thank
shit.
God we've got some Not Another Teen Movie love on this podcast. Just like the best of the parody movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. My girlfriend
At least
was
that
watching
second
She's
era.
All That. No, totally, 100%.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was watching She's All That a few days ago, and she was just saying, it's so funny how easily Not Another Teen Movie just nailed it, you know?
All of them. It's going She's All That, it's going American Pie, it's going Varsity Blues. It's like, it's hitting all the marks.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think it honestly is a perfect spoof.
Real quick, before we move on to your newer stuff, I was curious. The link you sent me for Dusty 2 was called a D, or was it a D grade? Or
a
what'd you call
VHS
it?
D-make. Yeah,
D-make.
Josh used this Blender filter to turn it into VHS. We didn't do the hard route of actually turning it into that. But Josh did that, and I find that the movie's better through that lens.
I agree. I actually watched them. I watched them side by side. I synced them up and watched the YouTube one with the, because I just wanted to. I wanted to get the full experience. And yeah, I definitely think it's interesting just how your content lends itself to the VHS style. I think it, like, that being baked in just like elevates the work in some way.
Yeah, I feel really like attached to analog, and I feel like as a kid we had so many VHS films, and I used to go yard sailing for VHS, and we had cutouts from the video stores. We'd bring them home sometimes. I remember having I think it was Archer, Emissary of the Gorgonites from Small Soldiers. I think I had a cutout of him.
That's pretty sick. You could probably sell that for like a lot of money now.
If I still had it, I would. But my father's a pyromaniac, so I feel like cardboard.
I feel like that's come through a little bit in your work too.
I do. Yeah, for a long time I spent so long trying to not be my dad, but as I get older I'm like, fuck, I love that guy, I should be him. And
I think now, that's the natural process. Yeah.
Something's burned in my mind. I people look at him and look at me, and even though my hair is blackish brown and his is like blondish dirt, he looks at me, and people look at us and say, oh my god, you guys are twins. I'm like, come on, man, come on, don't say that. Don't say that, dude.
I used to resent that my dad made me play baseball and hate baseball movies, and now I love them. And all I wish is that I had played more baseball as a kid. So I think this is just what happens in your late 20s, early 30s, where you start to really, really love your dad.
Man, I love that guy. He's a bro, but he's not. You know, he's like
yeah. Hey, shout out to Anthony's dad.
Yo, Scott Leroy, my old man. Love you, bud.
So clarify a little bit of timeline stuff for me here, because it seems like Hunting Party came out first and then Body Bag, but it feels like those were maybe shot in the opposite order. Am I wrong about that theory?
You're so good, man. I tell you, Brett, give this guy a fucking raise, because I tell you, Aaron's on to something.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, make sure you. Hey, Brett, I'm talking to you, buddy. Brett, right? You want to be right? This is what you gotta do. Body Bag was shot first, and Hunting Party was shot second, but we released Body Bag later. I thought I did a genius thing, and it actually ended up garnering a lot of views for Body Bag, was that I decided to release it on January 1st. So when people on Letterboxd started making lists of horror movies coming out in 2024, Body Bag was the very first poster.
First thing. Wow, that is genius. Yeah.
And it went on Horrorville as well on Letterboxd, and that was like their 2025 releases. So we ended up getting like 20,000 views in like a week or something like that. And I said, "Whoa, baby, big numbers, maybe not, but to me, shit,
that's big numbers. That's big numbers.
Better than 100, I'll tell you that."
Yeah.
But then we fucked up and we privatized the link, because we were like, let's send it to a bunch of festivals, and if they know it's out there, they're not going to accept it. Well, guess what happened? We only got into one festival, and everybody else said, fuck you, little boy.
One of my least favorite things about festivals is that rule. Like I get it, but it's so, like, why are we not just promoting people getting their work out there, right? And then
Yeah.
like if we like it, then we'll show it. Screw premiere status, like screw any of that. It's just like we should be promoting good art, and I feel like the festival circuit has got away from that. But maybe I'm just butthurt because I also get my fair share of rejection letters. I don't know.
Oh, I get rejections out the anus, but it's awesome. You know, it keeps me humble. It's like, yeah, shit, maybe it ain't that good. But I'm gonna say, Body Bag was a 2-year process of me trying to carve out my identity, and it was a bit of a fucking nightmare, man. I think after Dusty 2, I was in a real low hell, and I just wanted to make a film again, you know? I had a lot of ideas, but it was the personal things that were just like the relationship, and then I was like pretty depressed, and then
Sure.
I also was like, you know, I have to make something, because if I'm not going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. So
which is like, that is a ton of pressure to put on yourself. I also get into those little spurts of like creative energy where like, oh, if I don't like lunge after this right now, it's going to escape my grasp, which like is good things come out of that. But also I think the lesser talked about side of that is how much pressure you're putting on yourself in an already fragile state sometimes.
Right.
So I feel like yeah, you have something great to show for it, but like you said, it's 2 years of your life. Like, is that, you have it, and so that's great, but is that the healthiest way to go about it? Like, you know, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but I think as an artist it could be. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like the artist's mind is a little different, because sometimes I like self-destruct a bit, so I'm like, if I can put my focus on something positive and then just like put all my energy there, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did with Body Bag. But basically what happened was we shot that whole thing, and by the time it was done, I was so upset with the outcome that I said, oh my God, man, you know, maybe I should just stop, you know. It's like horrible. I was starting to lose my faith a bit in myself, and then ultimately after a while sitting with it, I said, I don't care. Let's just fucking release this movie. And I was like, January 1st, boom, let's do it. In the meantime, what happened was initially in the first like 2 years of shooting, and by the way, don't spend 2 years on a short film, please. Okay? I'm just telling that to all my homies out there. It's not worth it. Succumb to your fate. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyways, that's all. But if you spend 2 years, I'm not mad at you. I'm just. This is my suggestion.
Spending more than a year and a half on anything when you are the one, you know, funding it and thinking about it the most is probably not a great idea.
I agree. I completely agree.
I would hope you can watch Body Bag and be like, you know what, that's pretty good.
There's a portion of it I love, which is the highway sequence, because originally my idea for Body Bag was the highway sequence. It wasn't like all this character and stuff, and that was my mistake. I should have shot myself I did shoot myself in the foot by trying to flesh it out a bit more. Who cares? Who gives a shit, really? Like, I don't. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, the opening scene, I like it. It's got these great autumnal vibes. It's colored well. The music, I made a bunch of music for it, which was fun. Doing some like early 2000s new metal songs for it, and that was fun. But the whole middle stretch, I don't give a shit about whatsoever. And because we had shot that over like this 2-year period, and then what happened was we started shooting at the end of 2021. So 2023. There was a festival called Cabana Sang in Montreal, run by Frank Apache. Great trash festival, underground, B-movie, very fun, and they have these awesome competitions with a maximum budget of $200 with a prompt, and then if you win, you get your $200 back, and then second place, like audience award, would get like a 6-pack of beer or something like that. Sometimes they have people who like will sponsor the festival, so they'll get bigger prizes. But ultimately, I said, you know, I like this festival. I like the vibe. We sent Dusty 2 there. They did not take it. So then but they did give us a screener to watch the online fest. It was during the pandemic, 2020.
2020. Remember that? Crazy times.
I try not to.
Same.
But yeah, it's like he said no, but he said come watch. Here's a waiver to come watch our shorts. And I remember like some of the crew of Dusty 2 being mad at the other shorts that got in because we didn't understand. Yeah, maybe our movie was better on an objective level, but it wasn't short. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't funny. It was like whatever. It was a whatever thing. Because with film festivals, ultimately, like you have a 20-minute movie, you submit it. That means your movie's got to be like 3 times better than 4 or 5-minute movies. Mm-hmm. And is it going to be? Our egos would say yes, I think, but
right. It's something so unhealthy that I feel like all filmmakers do when like your thing didn't get in somewhere, and then I've gone down the rabbit holes of like, okay, well, what did get in here? And how much better is it than my thing? And it's like, that's not what it should be about at all, but it's very hard to avoid those trappings, right? You gotta drive yourself crazy.
I honestly, like, if I don't get accepted, but they're nice enough to give me a waiver to come watch a live stream and I go in and watch it, I'm happy. Like, I'm open-minded. Like, it's fine that we didn't get in. I don't think we made a masterpiece or anything like that. My ego isn't really like, I made this and I'm like in love with it, but some other people, they're like, well, I put a lot of effort and time into it, so it's like I want to see that kind of validated. Mm-hmm. But with me, it was like some of the shorts were really great and I had a good time, and still those shorts I think about even all these years later, and but I thought to myself, after we made Body Bag, I want to make something for this competition. So that's where Hunting Party was made. I made Hunting Party for the competition, and I wasn't able to go because I was working up north at the time of the festival, but I still made something and it got in and it played and stuff like that, so that was fun. I ended up becoming really good friends with Frank, and after making Hunting Party, which was like this experimental thing for me, but something that was screaming out of me, like, just fucking make something. Like, the waiting period, the gestation period is a nightmare. So I was like, just fucking put something out, please. And I made that on a whim, entirely by myself, on VHS-C cameras, right? So, and I had a fucking blast. Other people did not really know what I was doing. They were like, why are you doing that? Mm-hmm. That's not going to look good. I know it's not. That's why I'm doing it.
But, like, so how long did it take you to make Hunting Party?
2 days.
2 days. Okay. 2 days stacked up against 2 years. That had to feel so good.
It did. It really did. It was the greatest feeling to have made something. And I do think it's like funny. Like, I think it's like whatever, but I think that style, it was so new to me, going back to where I started, my roots of shooting on VHS, doing it again was so new to me. I felt like an alien playing in that field, but ultimately it became something larger with the projects afterwards. So after that, I said, okay, I did make something. Body Bag was not finished, but I said I did make something. Now I have to go and finish Body Bag and just get it out. Because once I did something fresh, it was like, okay, I got the energy now. I got to go back and finish this. And that's when we shot pretty much the entire bridge sequence for Body Bag, which I would also say is like undeniably the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
because all the other shit is very cringy, and I don't care for it.
I don't think I think you're being a little hard on yourself. Like maybe some of the party stuff is a little like rushed or whatever, but like I think that intro's great. I think everything. I think you got a good short film on your hands with that one. But it does feel like sort of the ending to part one of Anthony Leroy's cinematic journey, and then Hunting Party feels like the beginning of this. I would call it the floodgates opening portion of your filmmaking career, because with the introduction of this Tad Nightingale character, you made 3 more short films with him. I want to get more into each one of those short films, but now you've got 11 projects in the works based on your Letterboxd. So it seems like that really ignited something in you.
Oh yeah, it turned me into a workhorse. I actually wrote Bum as a response to Body Bag, and I said, this is because I was so scared to do what I wanted to do. making Body Bag that the only time I actually did what I wanted to do was the ending with the police cars on the bridge and all that stuff with the chains and the body bag. That was actually what I wanted to do. So like getting that done, it was like, oh man, you gotta just keep doing what you want to do. Don't bend, don't twist yourself, just do it, man. Just fucking be true.
Yeah.
So after Hunting Party, which was like the mini explosion, then it was like, okay, that's done. 6 months later, they do another thing, which is Brain Bucket. I made Brain Bucket for Cabana Song. So every 6 months they do the competition. Mm-hmm. With Brain Bucket, I was really sure, okay, this VHS thing can work, and I know how it can work with the found footage, twistings, and shot on video inspiration. Mm-hmm. Shot on video movies mean so much to me in terms of their just authenticity. It's not like I actually got into this conversation today, and like the thing I really hate about some modern movies that pay homage to SOV films is the idea of making them bad on purpose. Mm-hmm. That's not what SOV directors were doing at the time. They were making what they had with the resources they had. They were making it as authentically as possible. So when you watch those films, even if you don't like them, you can't deny that they're charming and they're full of heart. What can you pull off with zero? That's fucking awesome if you can do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie Berserker has a Viking fucking slasher fighting a bear on 2 feet. They're both on 2 feet. You can't beat something like that.
So Brain Bucket though, was that we're going snowboarding anyway, let's make a film? Or was that?
No, it wasn't. No.
Okay.
No, I really wanted to because like the winters in Nunavut is insane, which is where I work. It's like a minus 50, minus 52 degrees Celsius winters. It's like you're in The Thing, in The Outpost. It's
your favorite movie 4 times over.
Don't tell anyone. Okay, it's public knowledge, people, but yeah, it is.
Do not go on Anthony's Letterboxd page.
Stay off Daddy Deathbone on Letterboxd.
Oh, definitely do not follow the account we just plugged.
Please, guys, do not click that name. But it's true. While I was up there, I'm like, man, I like in the winters, I like watching winter movies. Not in the summer, not in spring, not in fall. I want to watch my winter movies in the winter. So I stack up a big list, and then I'm like, I also was thinking like, oh man, it'd be fun. The movie Shredder from 2001. Little snowboard skiing slasher movie. Pretty fun. I like it. I have a soft spot for the movie. I was watching that, and then I was also watching some snowboarding mixtapes like Totally Bored and Whiskey, because they're all on YouTube on this snowboard archive, snowboard VHS archive or something like that. I think that's the YouTube channel. But Totally Bored's phenomenal. It's like, oh man, you got all these boarders and you have an amazing soundtrack. You have like Helmet on there, a bunch of people on there. Just really, really fun mixtape. If you like snowboarding and like really great cinematography, that's definitely worth checking out. And in Shredder, they have a found footage character. The guy's filming on a camcorder. They just include that for no reason, really. And then, I said, well, what if it was like that dude, and there was like these people who were trying to make a snowboarding, mixtape. And then what would happen if I brought this character in, the slasher characters trying to snipe them in the hills? Then that could be something fun, We have the camaraderie and the authenticity. So I felt more sure of the style in that one.
And so bringing Tad Nightingale into that film, was that mainly because you liked working with Ian, or like why bring that character back? Why not just make it a different killer?
I thought that, but I felt that the character of Tad Nightingale had a lot of potential to really be something. And I think, like, when you see that sort of lightning in a bottle, you gotta capitalize on it. And with Ian, like, he was in Dusty 2 in a minor role, and we had such a blast with him making it that it was like, oh. I said, buddy, you gotta be front and center, You can be a side character, but not in my shit. I don't think that's possible, So with Brain Bucket, I said, it would be fun to continue making movies like for the competition, and then just keep this character, like make sure this character keeps coming back. I think people at the competition will start to recognize this guy. So that's what we did, with Brain Bucket. But like I said, Actually, Brain Bucket is what secured me a producer for my feature that we're going to be doing sometime.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
saying anything.
Which of the 11 upcoming projects on Letterboxd is this, Anthony?
It's not even on there. I'm sorry, man. It's not on there. It's a true story. This is going to be under wraps for a little bit.
Okay, cool.
But it's a movie.
Well, congrats on getting a producer for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's because he watched Brain Bucket, and he was one of the judges at the competition, and he came up to me out of the blue after Frank brought him to me, and he says, hey, man, I loved your movie. I was like, I have no idea who this guy is. I was like, oh, I loved your movie. I thought he was part of the, I thought he was one of the filmmakers. And I looked him up. He's actually a bit of a big deal. So I was like, okay. Actually, he just got nominated for Best Director at the Canada Screen Awards this year.
Oh, wow.
And he was going up against Adam Agoyan even. So I was like,
wow,
that's pretty big. That's like Canadian Oscars, dude. The fact that he saw anything in me was crazy.
Well, again, man, I mean, that's just a testament to you started making things the way you wanted to make them, and then the people come to you, right? Eventually, the audience finds you if you're being true to yourself. And I feel like you kept being true to yourself with my favorite thing of yours, Worm Burner. Maybe that's just the baseball fan in me, but this was the first thing I saw of yours, and it's still my favorite thing that I saw of yours. So
you do love baseball movies, that is true.
I can't deny it. But this one, again, you're just, it's kind of like the capper to the Ted Nightingale trilogy. It's got even gnarlier gore. I think it's got the gnarliest gore out of the three, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just a fun time, and it kind of cues you up nicely for then Bum. Like, I feel like what you're doing is just building a great, like, the best thing a filmmaker can have is like a bunch of accessible content that if someone likes it, they're like, oh, where can I see this person's next thing? And then there's just a bunch of other things that are like-minded, right?
Right, circulating.
Yeah. And I feel like me finding Worm Burner and then seeing that Bum was coming was like, oh, this guy, he's got it figured out. Like, this is awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, so why don't you just take me through, like, the last, like, year of stuff that you've made, and then maybe give me a peek inside this outrageous number of projects you have coming up.
Oh, don't remind me. Oh, God. I think March through April, I made Brain Bucket in the times I was home. Once I got that, it felt like, oh, shit. I really am proud of it, and I feel like I know what I'm doing now with these cameras, my editing tricks, utilizing the real transitions as, or real glitches as transitional pieces, and then really starting to get my style as using like glitch art and,
Yeah, once you do it twice, it's not a fluke.
Precisely, yeah. And so after that, I went up to Frank and I said, you know what you should do as a prompt for your for the next competition is do one about sports, because that's an underrated horror subgenre. Would be sports horror movies. There's not a lot, and I went out and I watched all of them that I could on baseball, which there's like 5 or 6 that are like baseball horror movies. There's a great one called Blood Games, which is a backwoods slasher of shorts about an all female baseball team being hunted down by these really nasty men, hillbilly motherfuckers. It's great. It's a fucking great film.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen a baseball horror movie other than yours.
I really wanted to do, there was an super old baseball field in the woods, and it was just overgrown by woods. Looked like a Goosebumps cover. And basically, we'd put these bases up and all the old metal fences up in the woods, and and it would become like a labyrinth in the woods when Tad's hunting them down. But I think we did a good enough job. What I wanted to do is really focus on my practical effects and how I could use practical effects in Worm Burner, and that was because what happened with Brain Bucket is we got second place from the judges. I don't know where we placed with the audience, but Frank gave me advice and he said, hey man, next time, because of the original 5-minute cut, it was 3.5 to 4 minutes of hanging out and then 1 minute of action. He says next time give more action and less character because the audience don't care. They don't care. They want to see something like really entertaining. I said okay. So we did Wormburner and then we won the audience vote.
That's
which
awesome.
is hilarious.
That's
I
awesome.
knew. I said, okay, now that I'm watching other people, like everyone's reactions to the shorts, I know what works and I know what doesn't. So when I went home to do Wormburner for the next round, fucking knocked it out of the park. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
boy.
there we go. I think it's awesome too that you mentioned the Goosebumps cover thing, because I feel like the poster for the film, it looks like that's what drew me to watching your film, is that it looks like a Goosebumps cover. And then you also introduced me to, I ended up having Stemo art. Is that how you say it?
Oh, Stemo.
Stemo.
I call he's Stefan, so I call him
Okay.
Stemo. I don't. But
I ended up having Stefan do the artwork for my short film also, which that's because I saw that he did the artwork for yours. So thank you. But again, that's what made me watch your film, was how good that poster art was.
And he's amazing to work with, and he fucking always nails it, man. I
think
love
that's
that
a
guy
good
to
tip.
death.
I think that's a good tip for people, is like a good poster goes a really long way in getting your thing seen.
Well, I find too with Letterboxd, it's like it kind of is like a video store in that the first thing you see in your feed is posters.
Oh, totally, yeah.
If you have a good poster, and that was like what caused me to buy a lot or rent a lot of VHS back in the day, was the poster. I actually did send him the cover of the Curse of Camp Jelly Jam, the Goosebumps book with the right.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, the sky. I want the sky to feel like that. This purple sky, like in that book. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, maybe put someone sliding here. Me and Ian with the broken baseball bat trying to stab him in the rain. Put that here. And then I want all the characters on baseball cards across the bottom. That was like the big thing. Like, so cool. Also I wanted the Major League Baseball, but like if it was dead and had X's for eyes, and the tongue out, right? So I was like throwing these nods in, but I really love that fucking poster. I really do.
We've talked a ton about all of your work. Bum is your most recent thing. What keeps you going, man? I'd be very surprised if you make a livable wage off of the films that you make. Just like what drives you to keep making projects? You're working at a faster rate than ever before. Like what gets you there?
I think a lot of people vanish off the face of the earth with nothing to show for it. And I do not want to be that person. I really care about everything that I do. Now, especially, I feel like I've had a new lease on life, and it's just like, artistically, I've never felt better or more energetic or happy or sure of myself or confident in my abilities than now. I do get excited about the stuff we shoot, and I love the excitement other people get once they see the shit that we shot, and I send it to them, and I'm like, look at this, watch this. This is hilarious. Look what you did, like, that's awesome. Look how it came out. And people get so hyped up about it. I think these movies are really like big energy balls for people too, and seeing them, like my friend Carter used to play baseball all the time, and then after we shot Wormburner, Carter's like, now I want to go like find a team in my city and start playing again. That's amazing. That's beyond just like making a movie about baseball. That's like you felt good doing it again, and it's like, now I want to go actually play once more, Mm-hmm. And I try to ensure through the atmosphere of the film and the environment that we conjure that like our energy is all like flowing freely together on the same level, and everyone's being raised up and up and up just by like how much we hype each other up to do stupid shit or say stupid things, or like once you nail it, it's like, oh man, the validation in nailing a shot or a take, especially if you're doing something crazy, is, I don't know, that feeling is really exciting and addictive. I gotta just keep going. I gotta keep making stuff, because I got so many ideas, and if they all went to waste and I became nothing, which I will eventually, but I had nothing to show for it, I'd feel not nice about that. this is important because we won't get these times again. You know, we have to make the most of these moments. I really think movie making is like, it really brings everyone together, and when everybody has a piece to show for it, and you know, like, this is like fun to show people, this is like exciting and interesting, then I think that's cool. And I also think like there's a whole network of people out there who love shot on video films as well, and these no budget horror films too, you know. So like if they want to discover work and I have a bunch of work instead of waiting for something, then I feel like that's also really good.
Hey man, how can people check out Bum?
I don't know.
There's a VHS release coming up, isn't there?
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I got you.
There's a VHS release coming up either in August or September from VHShaven.com.
Sick.
There's going to be a beautiful package put together with the movie, and it will include 3 fake trailers that you will only be able to see on that material. It will not be online. So get to it, boys and girls, and everyone in between or outside of. I love you all. But, you know, there will be there's a YouTube link floating around on the interwebs. If you go to Letterboxd, some kind people posted that link after I told them not to. So if you look around, there's links. There's links somewhere, and
so you're saying I should embed the private link to Bum in the Split Tooth article?
I think that's a great idea.
Anything else you want to say before we go our separate ways?
Don't say it like that. Separate ways. Worlds Apart by Journey. That's my favorite song.
Such a great song. Well, yeah, you and I are never gonna talk again after this call. So,
thank God.
Yeah.
But listen, Aaron, when are you coming up to old Canada to get killed by Tad Nightingale in the movie? Would you do that?
If that's the offer, I would 100% do that. Yeah.
Because I am making a Tad Nightingale feature about
of course
Tad
you are.
Nightingale and his son. So after I make my first feature, I may shoot this in the same time, but after my first feature, my second feature will be the Tad Nightingale tapes, and it's about him and his child, and like kind of like Frailty, where he's like Ian is Bill Paxton, and he's teaching his kid how to kill.
Sure.
And they terrorize some people pretty hardcore.
Oh hell yeah! I'm in. Awesome.
Right,
well, hey. Anthony, this has been nothing short of inspiring. I really love what you're doing. I think that you need to keep going and keep making things so that I can keep watching them, and so that everyone who reads this article can keep watching them afterwards too. And we are excited to watch your career grow and expand, and hopefully we get a Anthony Leroy Shudder original in the next 5 years. You know, I see it in the stars.
What I want to say is thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this. I mean, that's pretty awesome, and my heart is full, man, honestly.
Yeah, anything else you want to plug?
My cousin Brad.
Just want to plug your cousin Brad?
What'd you say?
I'd like to thank filmmaker Anthony Leroy for taking the time to chat. Check out his shorts and watch out for the VHS release of Bum coming soon. I'd also like to thank Brett and Craig Wright and everyone here at Split Tooth. Thank you to Will Denola for our theme music, and thanks to you for sticking with us for a second episode. Tune in, I believe, next week to hear my conversation with Aidan Cronin, a filmmaker whose body of work grapples with answerless questions about the human experience. It sounds heavy, I know, but our chat is super fun. And until then, go make more movies. Talk to you soon.